on the outside. Sandy Ball looking to shake loose, followed by Garland Lobel and Giorgio D. They're in the stretch. Baltic Speed takes the lead. Holy Arnie the rail, the outside. Here comes Giorgio D, followed by Sandy Ball. Baltic Speed is going to win it all. And here comes on road of Bona 3 wide. She's got full of Trot. And here comes Bill O'Donnell with it now. It is all road of Bona going clear at the rail. Narva, Hanover, Green singing Davidia Hanover. But the Breeders' Crown, Billy Trot, belongs to all road of Bona. Lobel all out for the world record. Go get Ross Rose toe on the outside. Matt Lobel on the rail has the lead. That's Matt Lobel. 10 to the mile, 156 flat.
Tonight, live from the Meadows in Meadowlands, Pennsylvania, it's the 3-year-old Colt with a prize of over $390,000.
He drove Baltic Speed.
Yeah. Riders in training will battle for a winner's share of almost $200,000. Breeders' Crown 88 is being brought to you by Castleton Farms, a tradition of excellence. By USA, serving over 130 cities across the U.S. and Canada. And by Budweiser, Beechwood Age, with a clean, crisp taste. This box for you. It is always exciting when a champion returns to the racetrack, and that's what we have tonight. Defiant One, who took the Breeders' Crown last year as a 2-year-old, returns tonight at age 3 to try and win it again. And the field is so deep, so competitive, Defiant One is not even the favorite. Hi, everybody. Dave Johnson welcoming you to the Meadows. And Stan Bergstein, this race in its short history has been a showcase for the winners of classic races.
It is again tonight. Southern Newton, who won the first leg of the Triple Crown of trotting, the Yonkers Trot, is here. And Huggy Hanover, who won the third jewel of the Triple Crown, the Kentucky Futurity, is also here. The winner of the second jewel in the Triple Crown, the Hamiltonian, Armbro Gold, has been retired.
In past years, Practice and Mac Lobel also won this Breeders' Crown event. But looking at tonight's field, we have 11 going to the post. How about the post position draw?
It's going to be important because here at the Meadows, a 5/8 mile track, 9 horses start in the first tier. 2 start in the second tier, and that happens to be Southern Newton and Sligo Hanover. And only once in 49 previous starts has a horse won from the second tier. That was the pacing filly, Follow My Star. Beneficiary of the draw is Firm Tribute. He got the rail, the post position 1. The primary victim of the draw is Defiant One, the defending champion, who has post position 8.
But one of the contenders, Huggy Hanover, drew post 5. Now, with more of that story, let's go to our colleague in the winner's circle. Here's Kenny Rice.
Thanks very much, Dave. Certainly it is not where you start, but where you finish. That can be true of racing, and especially true of the racing season. And right now, one of the hottest trotters anywhere is Huggy Hanover. Huggy Hanover, just less than a month ago, the first week of October in Lexington, went off as over 60 to 1 choice in the first heat of the Kentucky Futurity. He went on to victory in that. Then came back in the second heat with another brilliant drive by Ronnie Waples to win the Kentucky Futurity in straight heats. And suddenly, Huggy Hanover is no longer anyone's 60 to 1 shot. Since then, he has also won the Colonial at Rosecroft. And with me right now is Ron Waples, the man who will be driving Huggy Hanover tonight. Ron, what is the story? What has turned it around for Huggy Hanover in the last month? He has burst onto the scene and certainly is the hottest trotter coming into tonight's race.
Well, this horse was pretty good all year. He just had a lot of small problems happen to him all year, a lot of setbacks. And just seemed like he had a black cloud hanging over his head all the time. But he seems real good now. He's sharp and sound and seems real good, so we're looking for a big effort.
He has always been on the verge, it seems like last year and earlier this season, of breaking through.
Yeah, he always seems to be a bridesmaid, never a bride, but he's made up for it the last month.
Does it help a horse like Huggy Hanover, who is so close to winning but has not been able to win? Now he's winning.
Well, it makes it for a better year anyway, but he deserves to be with these horses. He showed the trot and has the speed and the ability to be with them. He just needed some luck.
Okay, good luck to you and Huggy tonight.
Thank you very much. Need that.
Thank you, Ron Waples. Back to you, Dave.
Time to look at the morning line. We start with a 3-tiered entry from the stable of Jan Janssen, Continental Spirit, with Jan Janssen driving. Super Gill and Bert Lindstedt in the bike. Southern Newton and Bill O'Donnell, they 3 start at 4 to 1. Firm Tribute with Mark O'Mara at 3 to 1. Then we go to Flying Scott at 5 with Dick Stillings. Huggy Hanover with Ron Waples, who you just met, at 5 to 1. Number 5, Rule the Wind with Richie Silverman, 6 to 1. Alaire Lobel at 12 with Jan Nordine. Number 7 is Defiant One, 6-1, John Campbell driving. Bola with Bill Fay at 20, and Sly Bowl Hanover with Dan Shetler at 12-1. We'll be back with all the action of the Breeders' Crown right after this timeout. And welcome back to our Breeders' Crown competition. A beautiful, clear, dry fall evening just outside Pittsburgh. 62 degrees. The wind blowing right into the horses' faces as they come through the stretch, but it has not been bothering them tonight, and I doubt if it will here. A fast track in store for us. They're out of the paddock, and here is number 1, Continental Spirit.
He is Swedish owned and he is Swedish trained, and he's won just under $500,000 in one of a 3-horse stable entry, Continental Stable.
And trainer Jan Janssen has decided to drive this one. Janssen went to work for Hawk and Walter when he was 14, and for 22 years has enjoyed a father-son relationship with one of the great horsemen of the world. Number 1A, Super Gill.
Lindstedt and Johnston, the trainers and driver, consider this one the strong horse of the entry, and they should. He's won $589,000.
And Bert Lindstedt won the very first Breeders' Crown ever contested with Workaholic in 1984. Let's watch 1B, Southern Newton warming up.
He is the winner of the Yonkers Trot, first jewel of the Triple Crown for 3-year-olds this year, but he has drawn into the second tier. Tough assignment.
And Bill O'Donnell, the driver, has fantastic statistics. He has won over 3,700 races and more than $55 million in purse money. He has 8 Breeders' Crown champions to his credit. And here is number 2, Firm Tribute.
With the sleek look of a $1 million winner, he's won $1,034,000, has drawn the rail tonight, and is the favorite.
And young driver Mark O'Mara has an impeccable eye for selecting yearlings, a natural talent for training, and a fine style in the sulky. Number 3, Flying Scott is next.
This is the local horse, owned by Ed Ryan, the founder of Ryan Homes. Lives right here in the area, but there'll be no joy in Meadowlands, Pennsylvania tonight for this one.
Ah, you heard it here. The driver of number 3 is Dick Stillings, who started as a groom for famous horseman Dick Buxton when he graduated high school, went on his own, and has become a great success. Here's number 4, Huggy Hanover.
The hot horse. He's winner of the Kentucky Futurity, 3rd jewel of the Triple Crown, and he's won the Colonial at Rosecroft in Maryland since then as well.
And the driver Ron Waples comes from a racing family, and 7 years after leaving his cousin Keith Waples' employ, he was the 3rd leading dash winner in North America. Here's number 5, Rule the Wind.
This was the surprise colt in the Hambletonian first heat when he finished second to Armbro Goal. He's had foot problems all year long, and he had made his first start in the Hambletonian.
And wish Richie Silverman a happy birthday today, turning 24 today, and he's been driving for 5 years. Here's number 6, Hilaire Lobel.
High hopes early for this one. Bob Waxman of Canada owned him, but he sold him recently to Scandinavian interests.
The son of Soren Nordin, the brother of Ulf Nordin, that makes Team Nordin. Jan Nordin drives. Number 7 is next, and it's Defiant One.
He surprised them last year at odds of 15-1 when he won the Breeders' Crown at 2, and he could surprise them again this year.
And the driver, Stan, is John Campbell, who at age 33 is becoming one of the all-time greats of the sport. He's won over 4,000 races, more than $63 million in purse money, who makes him almost unbeatable this year in those statistics. Let's take a look now at number 8, Bola.
He's from obscure beginnings in southern Illinois, but he's come from those beginnings to win $300,000. Impressive.
And the driver is Bill Fay, somewhat of a 5/8 mile track specialist who's been driving for 20 years, and he's been dash-winning record holder at the Meadows, Scioto Downs, and Pompano Park. And completing the field, Sly Bowl Hanover, number 9.
This colt has beaten Super Gill and Defiant One as recently as September 30th, but he drew into the second tier of starters, and it makes a very tough assignment.
And Dan Shetler, 38-year-old who started grooming for Del Insco back in '66, went on his own 3 years later and has become one of the most successful driver trainers in the business. Well, 11 of them in the field, but there are 4 dominant horses, and Stan takes a look at the top contenders. Let's find out who are the ones to beat.
Here are the leading contenders for tonight's Breeders' Crown as they started in the Kentucky Futurity. Outside is Defiant One, owned by Ann Beisinger, wife of trainer-driver Howard Beisinger, and Eva Duringer of Austria, former Miss World. The colt is the defending champion in this group, having won the Breeders' Crown as a 2-year-old last year at Mohawk in Ontario. He almost didn't race, having a slight temperature that morning, and then almost didn't qualify, finishing 4th in his elimination. In the final, however, he stormed home from 7th to nip Firm Tribute at the wire. This is Huggy Hanover, currently the hot horse of the 3-year-old trotting division. He won the 3rd jewel of the Triple Crown, the Kentucky Futurity, at the Red Mile in Lexington early in October, and then won the prestigious Colonial Stake at Maryland's Rosecroft Raceway in this dramatic stretch battle with Defiant One. Trainer, driver, and co-owner Ron Waples gets him home a winner on the inside at the rail. Super Gill was harness racing's most expensive trotting yearling at $500,000. He won 5 of 6 races and $328,000 as a 2-year-old last year, and has added another $261,000 this year, including this victory in the Review Futurity at Springfield, Illinois. He is one of 3 trotters in tonight's race from the Continental Stable, trained by John Johnson and driven by Brent Lindstedt. Johnson will drive the stable's Continental Spirit tonight, with the brilliant Bill O'Donnell driving the 3rd horse in the entry, Southern Newton, winner of the first leg of the Triple Crown, the Yonkers Trot.
By 7, it's all Super Gill.
Here is the leading money winner in the field, Firm Tribute. He was purchased for $25,000 by his owner, trainer, driver, 31-year-old Mark O'Mara 2 years ago. O'Mara looked for a partner, couldn't find one, and kept the colt. Last year, Firm Tribute won $474,000. This year, $560,000 to go over $1 million. And O'Mara sold him to Swedish interest for $965,000.
We purchased them, we broke them, and we developed them, and then raced them. And the only thing, I did sell them earlier in the season, but I was able to keep them and still train them. So it's still like he's mine, or the family's, or the stables, or whatever.
Firm Tribute is a family horse and has earned the young O'Maras a home in Boca Raton, Florida. Mark's wife, Martha, understandably considers him a special favorite in the family.
We got married on the eve of a very big race, and Jade Lobel was in a $500,000 race the day before, so the week was a little hectic, I guess I should say, and everything worked out real well. A lot of the relatives were in town for the wedding, and they got to see what we do for a living and what we're involved with in actually the most successful time of our careers. And the horse won. We won a $500,000 race, and we got married the next day. The only thing is, the business didn't dictate a honeymoon. I had to leave later on that day and go to Canada with the horse.
Like many top harness horsemen, Mark O'Mara is not a first-generation trainer-driver. He learned his profession from his father, highly respected trainer Frank O'Mara. My dad was in it. I wanted to follow in his footsteps, and I always wanted to, or hopefully, be as good or as successful as he was. With the success that we've had last year, the year before, this year, probably the biggest key to all that is the family, or the whole operation. My dad is probably the biggest reason that we've had success.
Thank you.
The family that trains together profits together, and Firm Tribute has propelled the O'Maras to prominence.
And let's take a look at Firm Tribute with Mark O'Mara in the bike, warming up, getting ready for the central moment of his racing career. He's 9-5 as we get set for race time. We'll be back with the race right after this. This is what it looks like to Gary Reese, who is the starter of the races here at the Meadows. We have a live camera, a portable camera, in the starting gate. Let's check odds just a minute or so before post time. The 3-horse entry, Continental Spirit, Super Gill, and Southern Newton, 5-2. Firm Tribute holds as the 9-5 favorite. Flying Scott is up to 30, and Huggy Hanover second choice with the bettors here at 2-1. Rule the Wind is up to 50, and Long Shot is Alaire Lobel. Defiant One, last year's winner of the 2-year-old Trot in the Breeders' Crown, is at 8-1. Bola is up to 80, and Sly Bowl Hanover is at 25-1. Now, those are the program or head numbers. Let's see how they will line up in terms of post position. If we were looking straight down on the starting gate, you can see Firm Tribute at the bottom of the screen, though, is next to the rail, and just behind Firm Tribute will be Southern Southern Newton. And Flying Scott, who will be second out from the rail just behind that one, Sly Ball Hanover. Stan Bergstein, what's the influence here? Sometimes it's Swedish, sometimes it's Canadian, sometimes it's United States dominated. What's in this one?
Well, it's Swedish and has been from the start. Back in 1984, when this race started, the Nordines finished 1, 2, 3 with Baltic Speed, Sandy Bowl, and Giorgio D. And tonight, of course, it's John Johnson and Bernt Lindstedt with their 3-horse entry of Continental Spirit, Super Gill, and Southern Newton, with O'Donnell driving Southern Newton.
And here we go with some great history. Jan Nordin, who won this race with Baltic Speed. He drives a Lairlow Bell. John Campbell, who drove Practice to Victory, is in this one. And Waples, who drove Sugarcane Hanover, handles Huggy Hanover tonight. And Campbell, who handled Macklow Bell, he's with Defiant One. And we're ready for the start. Take a look at that action.
Off and trotting, going right out for the lead. 1A Super Gill down along the rail. Number 2 Firm Tribute. But this is number 1 Continental Spirit. 4 wide on the outside. Rule the win as they race into the turn. Bola 5th on the outside. Down along the rail 6th as they race around the turn. Southern Newton 7th on the outside. Huggy Hanover in at the rail. Slyball Hanover racing 8th. Defiant One on the outside. Opening quarter and a very fast 27 and 4. As he's done it the first time. Firm Tribute rule the win up on the outside. Now second and going on. Super Gill getting the trip. Third at the rail. Continental Spirit racing 4th. Southern Newton moves up 5th. Bola 6th on the outside. Slyball Hanover 7th. Huggy Hanover goes to the outside. Flying Scott 9th. Defiant One 10th. The Lairlow Bell trails the half. 56 and 2. Backside second quarter and 28 and 3. Rule the win is off stride, but Firm Tribute leads the way by a length and a half. Super Gill racing second. Continental Spirit third. Southern Newton is 4th. Flying Scott moves up 5th. Huggy Hanover 6th. Defiant One 7th on the outside as they race into the turn of the 3-quarter mark. 3 quarters, 1:25 and 2. Backside in 29 seconds. Around the final turn. Firm Tribute with the lead. Racing second, it's Super Gill. Those two are going to battle it out. Down the stretch they come. Firm Tribute at the rail. Super Gill goes to the outside. It's Firm Tribute. Super Gill trying to close on the outside. Firm Tribute. Super Gill on the outside. Firm Tribute and Super Gill in the R. 1:55 and 3. A photo for win between Firm Tribute at the rail. Super Gill on the outside. Southern Newton comes home third.
Houston, the track announcer called it a photo finish. From here, it looked like Firm Tribute on the inside, winning it by a whisker. A well-measured drive by young Mark O'Mara, who has that great eye for the yearlings and the touch in the sulky. And let's watch it again, Stan.
A thrilling finish, and it's a very game effort for Firm Tribute. Went to the front, fought off Rule the Wind, and of course Bernt Lindstedt was right in behind with Super Gill. He had perfect striking distance. He just did not have quite enough colt, but they said this was the best of their 3-horse entry, and here he comes charging up on the outside as Firm Tribute fights for his life and in championship fashion holds on, coming to the wire.
Unofficially, it's Firm Tribute who had the most victories, 15, and the most money in the bank, over $1 million going in. Looks like he'll add almost another $200,000 with this performance in 1:55 and 3. Back with more after this. It's still a photo on the board, but unofficially we called it Firm Tribute in a dramatic, desperate lunge at the wire, and Super Gill finishing second. But a big round of applause for Mark O'Mara as he guides Firm Tribute into the winner's circle. And this has to be a happy time for he and his dad.
And also for Carl Gustafsson of Sweden, who paid $965,000 to O'Mara for this colt earlier in the year.
Part of Roger Houston's calls, he said Super Gill getting the trip, which makes Firm Tribute's victory even more important.
Absolutely, because Firm Tribute was cutting it, Super Gill was right in behind him, and Firm Tribute had a battle on his hands early with Rule the Wind. Finally dispatched him, and then still had enough to hold off Super Gill coming coming out of the 2-hole right behind him.
And the numbers are up on the board and also the official sign. And it looks like another part of the #1 entry finished third, although at this point we do not know which one it was.
It was 1B, I do believe. Mr. O'Donnell with Southern Newton.
And so Firm Tribute is officially the winner. And with Super Gill finishing second, and the other part of the entry, Super Newton finishing third. Let's go to Kenny Rice in the winner's circle.
And with me, as you might expect, Dave is a happy Mark O'Mara. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kenny.
Now, coming down the stretch there at the end, you certainly had to put on a big effort because you had a good horse in Super Gill ahead of you.
Yeah, Super Gill got a real good trip in behind us, and I knew that he wouldn't be, I knew that he would have a lot of trot.
Okay, as we take a look at it again now, coming out of the gate here, I know that you felt good about Firm Tribute coming into this race.
Yeah, I was here ahead of time at the track, and he felt real good at the racetrack, and we had a very good luck on the draw, and I think the rail really helped because we were able to get out of there ahead of the others, and that was the key to the whole race.
And just your thoughts as you were turning and coming down that stretch, did you feel that you had enough horse there on the rail that you'd be able to come through?
Well, he felt awful good, and he felt pretty strong considering the fractions, but I knew that the other horse had got the best trip.
Congratulations again, Mark. A big effort tonight for you and for Firm Tribute, and sometimes it's always a little tough to come back from that 2- to 3-year-old season. You never know how they're going to do a lot of times.
Well, he came back and he made it through the whole season and showed that he was just as strong at the end of the season as he was ever.
As far as we look at now at the rest of the race here, and again, we're talking about a very good trip here for Super Gill, which certainly makes it even more impressive for Firm Tribute, I think, tonight.
Well, they're both very good horses, Super Gill and him, and that just makes it all more credible when we end up beating them.
Okay, now, as you see right here at the half of 56 and 2, I would imagine you expected a pretty good time out of the horses that we had here tonight.
Yes, the track was very good. We got a real good night for racing, and produces fast times.
Okay, you're analyst right now of this race. As you look at it right here, what are you thinking at this stage? You're racing second at this time. Do you think you're set up in pretty good shape here as you come down with about a little over a quarter to go?
Well, I'm still in front, yes, and I'm just trying to get him wound up and keep him on the bit and keep him live and let him know that the race isn't over.
Okay, and again, as you see here on the rail, some thoughts when you come down those final strides. I know it's never over till it's over, as they say.
No, the wire wasn't getting there quick enough for me. I don't know who's more tired, him or me.
Oh, and he certainly looked very strong at the finish. Very strong. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Kenny.
And congratulations again, a big effort as we talk right here. Now, what were you thinking right there? What did you say to Bert?
I said congratulations. I thought maybe he nipped me. I just knew both horses had raced good, and his horse raced very well, and so did mine, whether I finished first or second.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Back to you, Dave.
And Firm Tribute, the winner at 520, 320, and 260. Super Gill and Southern Newton coupled in the wagering. They pay exactly the same, 360 place and 340 to show. Back with more after this. Stay with us. Del Miller, the founder of the Meadows, one of the great drivers, great horsemen of all time, presenting the trophy there. James Eckenrode, the chairman of the Pennsylvania Racing Commission, also presenting the trophy. And there they are, top to bottom. Where did you finish? Firm Tribute on the top, Super Gill second, Southern Newton finishing third, 155 and 3. It was quite a performance, Stan.
Last quarter got a little slow, 30 and a fifth, as they got tired coming home. But looks like Firm Tribute didn't get as tired as they needed for Super Gill to catch him, so he held on.
And what a family, Mark O'Mara. They're celebrating tonight.
25,000 purchased. He's won $1,221,000.
Next Friday, it's the 2-year-old Trotters in the first of our 2 one-hour specials from Pompano Park, live beginning at 10:30 Eastern, right here on ESPN. Breeders' Crown 88 has been brought to you by Pompano Park, the winter capital of harness racing, and by Budweiser Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by U.S. Air, the official airline of the